Welcome to another library event. This one is about getting your business online in the time of COVID. So, just a couple of quick reminders for everybody as we get started. The library is continuing its digital programming throughout this unprecedented time, and we have many events coming up in the next little bit. Most notably, starting next Tuesday, we have a new youth oriented series called Tune In Tuesdays that happens every Tuesday for the next little bit. Those events will be streamed on Facebook Live and recorded for everyone to kind of see, and they'll end up in other places as well. So do tune in on Tuesdays for those youth focused story times and learning activities that we have planned coming up. More library events can be found on our webpage anytime, Mount Vernon wa.gov/library, or can be found through our social media channels, and our email newsletter. So just stay in touch with the library. We'll try to keep you updated about what's happening and keep everybody moving forward. So one of the questions we've been asked here in the library a lot recently is what we can do to help small businesses kind of navigate this time of COVID. And one of the first things every small business should do is actually get online and start to connect with their customer bases. We live in this time where a lot of businesses have like a Facebook page or Instagram page or are all over TikTok, but don't actually have a true online website presence. And that is really still crucial to do business in this day and age, in part because ultimately, if you're going to sell something online, you need to have a portal where people can actually purchase those materials. And without a website, you can't actually do that. There are many customers who are looking to figure out whether or not they can come to your physical location or connect with you in services in other ways. And without a web page, they just don't want to deal with you. Um, you know, it's easy to think that, oh, people will check your Facebook updates, but truly, even in this time where people are using Facebook more and more, not that many users connect that way. Most people, when looking for a business status, just do a quick Google search, and it's really important to be there for your business and to have something that you can present to them. So I'm going to go over just a couple of real big basics that everybody should know to kind of get set up. We're going to use the Google suite of tools for two reasons. One of the most important reasons is that the Google suite of tools is free. And I know that we're all economically challenged right now. And so they're really great. The second big reason is they are also the most accessible and will reach the most amount of people from the get go. Google's own search engine is by far and away the most dominant way that people actually look for business information. And using Google's own tools to be a part of that means that you get optimized higher in the search results, so you'll get found more often. And it's the easiest way that you can kind of start with that. We are here at the Mount Vernon City Library, what's called a Grow with Google partner. So we have access to specific Google resources and training materials and other things. But I wouldn't recommend anything I didn't already think was the best. So in this case, it just works hand in hand. But the Grow with Google resources are the ones that I would recommend using. And also, that partnership allows us to present information to you in a clearer fashion. So with that, we'll actually get started with how you get your Google business listing and get your first website going on Google, and why you should start to do those things if you don't have them already here. I am perfectly capable of helping you navigate a more substantial website development in the future. So, after this event, you might want to know how to do other, sort of more advanced website development. And in those cases, we also will be offering courses as well for people. But today, we're just going to start with the basics, getting your business online so that everybody can, sort of start from that first place. So with that, let's get started. So I'm going to start to share my screen here. And we will go to Google Chrome. Um, Again, Google likes Google tools. When using Google tools, I always recommend using Google Chrome. Google Chrome is also the best browser to just make sure that it's always up to date and to Google standards. Google does make cross-compatible tools, and there are great things all over the place. So, if you use Safari or another browser, don't worry about it. So here's the basics about Google that we're going to go over today. The first most important thing that any Google business should do is to get a Google business entry. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll just do it for the Mount Vernon City Library here. The Google business entry is this thing that pops up on the right hand side of the screen that tells about your business. It includes basic website rating, your open hours, your phone and contact information, as well as upcoming programmings and times that it's used and more. And this profile is something that's freely available to everyone and is really what people generally use when trying to connect with any business. It's pretty easy to create one of these. So I recommend everybody doing it. And as opposed to other resources that are out there by Google, these are not advertising. They don't cost any money, and they're independent of search rankings. So if you have a website that's new and maybe not as highly rated, it will still show up right at the top when you have this Google profile for your business. So to start a Google business profile, if you go to you just do a simple search for Google Business, and you can click the top link, which is Google My Business. That's the thing we're going to, and it'll reach the Google page where you can set up one of these profiles. So to do that, you just hit Manage Now, and then it will ask you to sign in. We're going to sign in here to the library's account. If you don't already have a Google account, they are free and easy to use, and it's hard to talk and remember your password at the same time. So with that, we will continue on. So the first thing it asks is for you to identify your business name. You can type in anything. Today we're gonna create a new business called Library by Design. In many cases, your business might already have a Google listing, and you can just go ahead and select it from the list. That's what's showing up down here. In this case, there are no other listings of a company called Library by Design, so it's a good one to kind of create a new business. So you do that, and then you click right here to add your business to Google. Again, type in a name, hit next, and then it will ask you for a business category. In this case, we're going to say it's a library. And you want your business to be located on Google Maps and Google Search. That's that Google business entry that we just talked about. And then you give it an address. So, of course, in the United States or Canada is the best for Google services. And then you just select an address from the address solver. In this case, we're using an empty lot that's near the library, but when you're actually creating your business, it's good to use a physical address. I would recommend that even if your business is mostly online, that you claim you use a physical address with your Google business listing, even if that's your home address or some address where you receive mail, because you get much higher Google rating with a physical address, because that's the way that Google businesses are sort of geared. And you're not eligible for certain services if your business does not have a physical location. So even when you're starting out and you just have a home business, go ahead and start your Google listing listed to your house or other place that you might do that. there's many places you can suppress that information later on, but it's good to have to begin with, and it helps with your map listing and other things. Then it will ask you if you're actually one of these other businesses that's in Google's directory, and you just go ahead and say none of these when you're creating a new business. Um, um, and then you hit no, I don't, and you move forward. So then it needs a website URL, and if you don't have and click down here to get a free website based on your information. Toot, 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 toot. And then you hit finish. Wop, wop, wop. And it starts to create your Google business entry and your account. Now, it should finish here in just a second, but of course, in a live demo, it takes longer than you think it should. Okay. The next question it's going to ask you is about a verification. Okay. Um, and verification is the way that Google makes sure that your business is legit. Just a little bit more about that. What they're trying to do is figure out if you're eligible. You are a business where you make in-person contact with people during slated hours. You're a home-based business in the service area, or you're some sort of retail service point. What they're trying to say is that you're not a PO box thing. You're not an event that's happening at a location, and you're not an online only business. So to do that, you have to verify your Google profile. And there are really two ways that you can get verified. One of the ways you can get verified is by getting a postcard, phone, or email sent to you. So these are, how that works. The postcard is their preferred way because they feel like it verifies your address. There are some other forms of verification that also might be able to happen, including expedited verification. But you just kind of choose the way that you want to be verified. Again, post office, mailed to that address is a great option, but you can hit more. Or you can not decide right now and just hit later. We're going to do that in this case so we don't mail something to a fake address. All right. And then you get started. Here is your Google My Business profile page. And it has a number of cool features that I just want to make you guys aware of. So to start with, right down here, you'll see the website feature. If you don't already have a website, you can easily set up a website in just 5 or 10 minutes and put it online. One of the reasons that Google website tool is the best tool to use when you're just starting out and really creating your website for the first time is it's extremely easy to use, one of the easiest platforms out there. And probably most importantly, too, you're allowed to use a customized domain in a free site. There's only one other website platform available that has a free version where you can use your own domain. And you kind of think of your website domain as your address that people will continue to come to for many years after you create it. And so it's really good, even when you're starting out, to start people kind of going to the right place. You'll probably replace your Google website, with a more robust tool in time. But having one that is online right now is way better than having one that it eventually is coming for your users or just a coming soon message. So with that, you just start out and let your website design go. So it's not very many choices you have. You basically can choose just a simple color of font here to begin with that kind of matches your business. I like green because we're in the Pacific Northwest. And you can hit check or X. X is discard the changes and check is add them. Then you just edit your site, and it's pretty easy to do. You can either edit by clicking inside the website in the editable sections or by clicking right here in the sections down the way. So you just go, your company's library by design, you're a library in Mount Vernon. You can add some summary a little bit to this web page and kind of get it ready to roll. You'll notice that each web page has all of these sort of gallery elements, and they are, your business name, the posts, the testimonials, and the gallery. Just so you guys know that only what you actually type in appears on your website and goes live. So even though there are these sections like testimonial and gallery, if you haven't created those elements when you actually publish your website, they don't appear on your website to start with. So really, what you want to do is just make sure that you have the basics in place for customers to contact you, a name of your business, the hours you're open, and the basic sort of content that you want people to utilize right away and go from there. So in this case, I think we're all good. You might want to add a photo to your website, and to do that, you just go and you grab a picture from your computer, you upload it, and then it's added to your photo gallery. So yay, we have a little photo gallery here, and you can edit the photo header in that same regard so that your website sort of becomes your own very quickly. There. So you can start to create the thing. A couple of images just to start with is all you need to kind of get going, and a basic contact information. Um, and yeah, that's your web page. The big thing that you can also change here is what appears in this button. To begin with, you can have contact us, get directions, or get a quote. If you're a business that provides services with a quote, that's a great way to connect with customers. Otherwise, contact us works great. The other thing you'll want to know right off the top is this posts column. This posts is where you can tell people about what's happening at your business. And in this time of COVID, you'll probably want to give them a specific update about what might be happening at your facility. So you can start any post with just an image to kind of let them know. So we'll use this one, open. Um, and then you can write a little bit of thing. You can say, phone lines are still open, and you can talk to your um, mhm, customers with that sort of thing, and tell them just a little bit about what's happening at your institution. Especially if you put it in this COVID update, it will appear both on your website and right there in that Google entry, so people can see what's happening right now. And then you just hit publish, and it becomes a live part of your a website, and people can connect with you a little bit more. Kind of think of them as sort of abbreviated Facebook posts, much along the line of Twitter, just little short updates that you can continually add. Over time, you can promote offers, updates, and even products as you add them to your Google platform. So that's the basics of how you kind of get that going. And then once you've created the uh, website that you like, and if you want to add a custom domain, you hit get it. You hit this buy thing right now, and you can buy your own custom domain. Otherwise, you can just publish your website as you want, and so you just hit view website, and then here is your website as it is in the Google world. So here you are. Your first ever website has the address, it has contact information, and it's set up and ready to use for your library or for your users. Um, as you continue on, you'll want to replace this website and get a new thing going. But that's the basics of getting started with the Google platform and the Google tools that you might want to know. Again, so the key steps are to make sure that you verify your address and think of a verification method. So you hit verify now. To set up a basic web page, um, as we did right there. To buy a domain, I would really recommend doing this because a custom domain is your sort of starting point, and you do that by hitting the buy link right there. And then you can buy this thing, or you can buy another one. I usually just like the one that they suggest. It's the closest, it's the best match that you can buy for your website. So you just click like right there and you buy. Um, um, and you can do all of the other related websites or make your actual choices later. But um, by your website, and then make sure that your website actually gets published by hitting the publish button when you're all done. And that's really straightforward launching of your website. If you need to change any of the info about your business itself, please go to this info tab. That's where you can put your address, your service area, your hours, your phone number, and other types of basic information that will appear on your website. And then check back with your website often and make sure that you're connecting with users and you're looking at their feedback. But that's all you need to get started and get online. So with that, that concludes this lesson about Grow with Google's like basic tools and how you can start a business in a few minutes and kind of get your business online. I encourage you to use those tools and ask more questions in the future. With that, I will open it up to the audience. Are there any other questions about how to use Google's tools? All right. Hearing none, that will conclude this session. Again, check in with us for Tune In Tuesdays, our first story time. And, continue to connect with us with our Grow with Google series and also our COVID response series so that you guys can learn more about how to get your business online, how to contact various government programs, and to be a part of this kind of changing world. Um, Thank you so much, everybody. And with that, we will conclude for today.